Hello and welcome to today's 3-minute halacha as we continue to explore the malacha of korea, of tearing on Shabbos. And as we pointed out on more than one occasion, korea tearing is going to have to be something that's going to be productive. It's going to have to be something we're actually going to use. It's going to have to be separating something that is currently one that is combined into two distinct units. And so with all of those in mind, we want to look into this. And remember, just from our very first discussion about korea, Rashi and Tosfos, as opposed to the Rambam, think that you have to combine it once again to violate korea on a Torah level, even though that might only be according to a Torah level. Still, D'Rabbanan, Rashi and Tosfos will agree with that. If we're separating and not joining, even if we're not joining together once again, that's going to still be a violation. And so, where else do we see this come up? Well, BandAids. Because BandAids, we open up these little adhesive tabs in order to put the Band-Aid on our arms, on our legs, God forbid, if we get hurt on Shabbos. And that separation is permanent. It is one unit that's turning into two. However, poskim point out, and a number of poskim talk about this, Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach in his Shulchan Shlomo, Rav Moshe Feinstein in his Kitzur Hilchos Shabbos, and Rav Scheinberg and the Or L'Tzion and the Aznidburu, tons of people talk about it. They'll all tell you that it's not a problem, because as much as this is a separation of one item into two items, it wasn't really adhesed, it wasn't really connected in the first place on such a significant manner, and so it's not going to be a problem to separate it now today. However, Rav Nissen Karelitz in the Orchos Shabbos, as well as Rav Elyashiv, point out that it may be better to avoid it if you can prepare the Band-Aids before Shabbos. Similarly, when we talk about diapers, because a diaper, if we were to open up those tabs and then close them again, that might even be Korea Almanas Litzvor. That could be even a deraisa according to Rashi and Tosfos. However, what Rav Ovadia Yosef points out in his Yechavadas is that wasn't really connected in the first place. They're not really put together that separating that will be considered korea or tearing, because the manufacturer just has it set up like that for the ease of use, the ease of transport. But it doesn't. But it's expected that you're going to separate it. It doesn't really count as being connected in the first place. However, the Yechavadas does point out, Rav Ovadia does say, that if you're going to close up the diaper when you're throwing it away, that diaper is going to be closed now forever. That will be a concern of Topher, which is not quite korea, but close enough. That being said, for all the diaper discussions, we don't really need to be so concerned today, because for the most part, almost every diaper that you can find is not a sticky or an adhesive tab. It's actually instead made out of Velcro, and Velcro will not be an issue because Velcro is always homemade, if you will, to open and close, so not to worry. Two more things when it comes to a book. How is a book made? They'll put all the pages together, but the edges are not always beautiful and not always even, and so they'll cut off all the edges, and so you'll have a paper that goes from being one page into two pages by the cutting. But if they mess up the cutting, you've got an extra tab on the end that needs to be removed. Removing that would actually separate the pages from one page into two separate pages. That'll be tearing. That is productive and will be a violation of Shabbos. We want to avoid that to the best of our ability. And then finally, when it comes to an envelope, if an envelope is sealed, or an envelope, we want to seal an envelope, that's going to be an issue. That is not going to be an issue of korea, because envelopes are really just there to transport it. They're not there for a permanent sense. You really just want to get to the contents inside. And in a similar manner, if we have a piece of paper that is one piece of paper that's stapled together, that's one piece of paper, but by taking the staple out, it's not tearing per se, because there's still only going to be one paper, but it is going to be productive. It's going to be helpful for you. Afal Pikein, that's going to be permissible. And I think that wraps up our learning of korea. Have a wonderful day.